Hello, everyone. It is Rory here at that Eurovision site, Eurovision with a Slice of Life. My name is Rory, and I am joined by the lovely Tim. How are you doing?
I am great. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you. I'm feeling very relaxed, and we're ready to get into another discussion video about all the songs that are going to be taking part at Eurovision 2025. And in this video, we're going to be checking out Georgia's Eurovision song, which is Freedom by Mariam Shengelia. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of an interesting one to kick us off with this one because Georgia was the last country to reveal which artist would be representing the nation at Eurovision 2025, and they really did make us wait. They literally left it to the day before the absolute cutoff, so it was very much like last minute kind of things. But we got a song, and it's called "Freedom" by Mariam Shengelia. I mean, what did you think about Georgia holding out for so long before dropping like everything basically just within the space of an hour?
I'm just like, did we really have to? Like, did we? You could have mentioned the name like way. You could have done a you could have done a Cyprus where you were the first one to say your name and then literally waited till the last second to give us the song. But no, you could have you're it's like with buses. You're waiting and then everything comes all at once.
Yeah.
So. I didn't the thing is that I didn't expect this from Georgia. Out of all the countries I would expect this from, this year it was Georgia of all the countries.
I don't know. It's strange because it's like, like last year when Nutsa, for example, was
Mhm.
was announced. I mean, she was announced back in February, but the song didn't come out until like the 10th of March, something like that. But at least we had a name at that point.
Yeah.
This time around, it was a completely different ballgame. I mean, it was literally spawning memes of like, does Georgia even remember that it's taking part at Eurovision? It's like that kind of thing. So I guess in a way it was nice to have it finally, confirmed that they did remember that they were taking part and they were sending something. Um, and I mean, it's an interesting song to say the least. I think we can't really go much further in this without kind of recognizing the perhaps the irony of the track here because the song is called Freedom, and currently at the time of recording, Georgia is kind of going through a lot of political turmoil, obviously, with sort of the Georgian Dream Party kind of trying to become a little bit more pro Russia. And obviously, at the time of recording this, Mariam is sort of known for being a little bit more lenient towards Georgian Dream. So, we just want to make it clear that obviously we stand with the people of Georgia and we want to make sure that, they are. People who are fighting for a European path to freedom. So, obviously, we will support them in any way that we can with that. But for the meantime, we this is still a Eurovision Song Contest. This is a song that we're gonna have to cover, so we can bear that in mind anyway as we're kind of
Yeah.
going with this. So I mean, sort of looking at it, I mean, it's kind of an interesting song to start off with because it has got a very Georgian feel to it, doesn't it?
They might have just said, okay, this is what we do at junior. Let's just make it a bit more, a tad
Mm,
more lift it up so it can feel like a Eurovision song. That's what I'm
yeah,
feeling. Because how can you be so how can how can you be so good at junior and then you send something like that to Eurovision and I'm like and you're literally like the country with the most wins
yeah,
and then you can't even this is what I feel like there's something lackluster in this song. I can't I reacted to it and it just felt like flat on it. It didn't feel like I wasn't getting like the vibes that I would in a Junior. So Junior ticks all the boxes. Eurovision for some reason, I don't know. Like it,
yeah.
it feels like there's nothing on there that makes me there wasn't like a wow factor. It felt like they were trying to do what they were doing for Junior, but just couldn't translate it properly. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that I mean, obviously, look, you've said it there. Like, I mean, Georgia is the most successful country at Junior Eurovision. Like, it's obvious that they know what they're doing when it comes to that. When it comes to Eurovision itself, they're a lot more kind of not as sure with where they are in the contest. You know, they haven't really established an identity with that. And I
Hmm.
think this is kind of almost trying to hark back to maybe the early days of Georgia and Eurovision. You know, like mostly, you know, when the one I'm thinking of is like Visionary Dream, right? Because Visionary Dream had very obvious Georgian sounds and it had a very Georgian feel to it, whereas this is still also kind of Georgian, but it's almost sort of relying almost on being that kind of ballad style, like in a way that Shine was from back in 2010. So it's 2007 mixed with 2010, and then you get 2025. Um, I think it's nice that it's in Georgian. I think it's nice that it has a kind of an odd song structure in the way that it's kind of like a weird 3-4 time signature in terms of the way that the song is. But you are kind of right in the sense that like when I first listened to it, it didn't really like immediately grab my attention. It wasn't like something that was, oh my God, I need to listen to this again. And like, you know, usually if there's a song that I like within a Eurovision context, the first thing I'm going to do is that like I'm going to put it on again because I wanted to give it a second listen and be like, wait, do I actually really like this? And I mean, you know, it's they had interesting ideas in this, and I think there's no denying that like, you know, the show off of Georgian culture in this is quite nice, you know, in terms of the dances that we saw in the music video, as well as like, you know, the instrumentation in that as well. But it just feels like they've tried to mesh traditional and sort of a ballad thing, and it's just like the whole is not as good as the sum of the parts. Um, and I'm a little bit nervous for them because I just think it's not going to really work out well for them. I mean, also talking about Mariam herself, her vocal is really good. I think, you know, there's no denying that she can sing. She also has Eurovision experience herself. She was supposed to be a backing vocalist for Tonika Kipiani back in 2020 before COVID hit. So, you know, it is obvious that she has planned to go to Eurovision. But I don't know. I mean, what do you think about like the overall like package that we've got from Georgia? Because I mean, you know, there is culture, there is a good voice,
Yeah.
there is like a build up there, but I mean, what do you think?
I think when I first listened to it, it kind of reminded me like, oh, you know, the instrumentation in the beginning, like the wow factor, kind of reminded me a bit of Conchita, like
Hmm.
in terms of like the build up to it. So, okay, it might hook viewers in. Whether or not they'll go look past it after 30 seconds is when I'm gonna be like, are they gonna stick around or are they just gonna like, ugh, I'll ignore it, I'll chat to my friends, or it might be for some worst cases, yeah, I'm gonna go to the toilet in the arena, I'll be right back. Um,
Yeah,
that's my main concern is that it's just trying to get it hooked. Look, I get it that there was this performative thing that they were doing when they revealed the song, but how are you gonna translate that over when you're only allowed 6 people on stage? They had like a lot of dancers in that uh,
mm,
preview that we got. So that was my main concern. And I think the only thing I would say is they have to do something really drastic in order to, you know, just get the wow factor in.
yeah,
But I will say though that looking at this, like, you know, it could be a promising staging. I don't know. We don't know what the plans are yet. Like, we literally recording this like what? Not even like a week, like just like nearly a week after she was announced. So
yeah,
everything's still brand new. But I will say though that Georgia is participating in the second semifinal, which I think is much more open than the first semifinal. So it could sneak in, but my main issue is I feel that this song is more of a jury bait, and
hmm.
with no jury in the semifinals, I
It
don't
it
I don't
yeah.
think I don't know if the public would be accessible to an entry like this, as a jury would see the merit.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like juries, I mean, it's always a theory that juries always tend to go for ballads more so than anything else. And this is very much a jury bait kind of song. But saying that, I mean, I think maybe like the splash of the color and the splash of the cultural elements in this, I do think it would maybe give it a bit more of an opportunity.
Mhm.
I think out of both, like out of the two semifinals, you're definitely right in saying that semi two is a little bit more unpredictable. But saying that, I just think when it seems so disjointed, this song,
Mhm.
when you have that going up against the likes of, really big packages, like in songs, like for example, like Finland, like Malta, like all these big songs that people are talking about. This is not a song that people are talking about. And I think that is not going to help it. And I think I do see Georgia probably going back to not qualifying again with this song. And given the political statements and stuff from everything, I think also in general, I think maybe I know some Eurovision fans will definitely be having that in mind, but people are watching what's going on there, and I don't know whether or not they will make connections with that. I mean, who knows? Um, but I think in general, her voice would do well, but just not with a song like this. I don't think, which
Yeah,
is going to cause problems. So yeah, what do you think?
yeah, no, look, great voice from what we've seen in the video. I I don't know, it just feels a bit like you said, like it's just not ticking for me. Like, they must. It's either I'm just not seeing it now, or we're not seeing it until we see a live performance,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yeah,
we can make a judgment from then on, I think. But
yeah.
I personally, for me, like this is it's it's not grabbing. I don't see people talking about. I don't see grabbing attention. My concern is it's kind of like, you got entries like, I don't know, like, we, as a Euro fan, we think, oh, this might be great. I think this entry is not accessible to the public,
Hmm.
voting public. That, like, I don't think. I'd be really surprised if they see into it, but I personally don't see like the it being accessible. Like I said on the EMA video, I'm literally leaning towards that it could go in the lower, like, it wouldn't even be close to qualifying. I think I feel really bad by saying this. It might be a point where it might not even get double digits in televotes.
Wow.
But if I was wrong, you can clip this clip and put it at poorly aged Euro on Twitter.
Little shout out there. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's hard because Georgia does know how to stage.
Mhm.
Georgia has always done really well when it comes to staging various different genres of song. We've seen it from like Visionary Dream, like Midnight Gold, but then also the likes of, for example, like Nutsa, for example. That was like, or even Iru, like, these kind of very big dramatic stagings. Like it was very obvious that they know what they're doing in that front. So I would imagine that they're probably going to do a good stage show, but it, in a year where anyone can win and anyone can also completely just be a shock non-qualifier, I think this is probably edging a little bit more to being more of a certain or likely non-qualifier than anything.
Mhm.
And like anytime when Georgia has not qualified, it's either been maybe like 11th or 12th or bottom of the pack. So it could be one of these extremes again where they could be a borderline, but then they also could be an absolute dead last in the final or in the semi-final even. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it kind of plays out. I mean, yeah. I mean, what do you think? What do you think Georgia needs to do in order to like get back into the final more consistently?
I think um I'm at that point where I think we mentioned this in the podcast like donkeys years ago, where whatever we say, GPB is just gonna GPB. So I'm like, I just say, I don't know, maybe create more hype around it, because this one is like, you said you were confirming and we didn't hear anything until like the literal last minute. Like, I think for Georgia, I think they need to be consistent in creating that journey, and just like, okay, build a proper hype towards in the road to it, rather than just
Mm,
make, because it looked like this was done at the very last minute. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it was shown last minute, but we don't know how long they've been working for in the background. But it literally looked like they just said on Monday, okay, we'll pick Mariam, and on Friday we've done everything else.
yeah. And it's, yeah, that just kind of it shows a little bit of a rushness, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
yeah, I think we've seen really good national finals from Georgia before, and I think it'd be nice to have that kind of national final back again. The last time that they had a proper national selection in what we would call a national selection was what, 2017. So that was like
Yeah.
nearly a decade ago. So we need something like that again. I think that'd be really, really cool to see. Um, but yeah, I think just staying true to the kind of zaniness that they have, because we've seen that from Nika Kocherov, we've seen that from Nina Sublati, we've seen that from Sofo, we've seen that from the Shin and Maruko. They have this amazing music scene, and we just don't really get to see it when they're just kind of sending generic ballads. I'm glad that they've taken a little bit of a risk with this kind of weird time signature thing, but it's not enough to grab, I don't think. So I do think it could struggle, but I'm open to being wrong. I'm open to being completely, proven wrong. And I guess we'll see on the 15th of May, won't we? But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. So, yes, that is what our thoughts are on Mariam Shengelia's Freedom for Eurovision 2025. Do you agree with what we said? What do you think? Do you think we need to listen again? Do you think we're absolutely wrong? Tell us everything you want us to know in the comment section down below. It is a conversation, so please do let us know what you think. Thank you very much to Tim for joining us on this lovely episode. And also, please do hit the like button, give us a little bit of a subscribe, hit the notification bell. It all helps us just a little bit more in the algorithm, just to help us maximize our chances of getting to Basel. It'd be really, really fantastic. Please do continue to follow us on all of our social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Tumblr, all on at That Euro site. Check out that eurovisionsite.com as well for all of the news that's been going on. I've been working like a goddamn mule over the last few days trying to get all of the stuff written up. So it's very, very nice to see that that's going well. Also check out all of the podcast audios that we've been going on about these discussions as well over at That Euro Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Check out it there as well, wherever you get your podcasts as well. We're basically everywhere. So yeah, we will be providing you with a whole host of different content as well when it gets to the pre-party season and eventually to Basel. So I can't wait to see how it's all going to go. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.